Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on a Coleman Powermate 6250 generator. Has a 10 horsepower Tecumseh on it. This is a pretty old generator, but it still looks like it's in pretty good shape. Looks like it's been sitting for a while. It has tons of dust on it and stuff, so we'll make sure the tank's nice and clean, carb's nice and clean oil, and see if we can't get this thing running again. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, I already checked the gas tank. The gas tank's totally empty. So we'll take this cover off here to get to the carburetor. And this top screw is a 5/16 screw. Got a couple Phillipses right here. Guess we should pull the rope, make sure it's not stuck. It's good to go. Feel like it has plenty of compression. Seems like with generators, you only need them in an emergency, then the rest of the time you pretty much forget about it. Lots and lots of dust and debris on that. Well, we'll get it so it looks like new again. Go and take the air filter cover off. Let's go ahead and unbolt the carburetor here. We had a 7/16 wrench for that nut. Okay, I'm just gonna unhook the fuel line here. Check this hose. It actually feels kind of brittle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the fuel line too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that fuel line. Then we'll put a brand new fuel line on it. Get a mat and grab these nuts here. Then we got a little vent right here we have to unhook. And we got to unhook this governor linkage right there. And there we go. I'm probably going to take this cover off here before we tear it apart. Pretty simple unit to work on. Okay, I'm going to go and spray this off with carburetor cleaner before we take it apart. Looks a little bit better. So this bottom bowl nut, that's the jet and the bolt that holds it down. Actually looks pretty clean in here. Looks pretty clean. You see there's a little dirt in there. And this bowl gasket, that's tearing right there and stuff. And right here on the side, that's your idler jet right there. We're gonna go and pop that out real quick too. Some call them pilot jets, some call them idler jets. It's not adjusting, you screw it until it's tight. But there's two little holes in the side here and one in the center. Make sure that's clear. You cover up one hole. Get a can of carburetor cleaner that's a minute. See that nice stream that shot out of there? You know, this carburetor don't look that bad, but I'm just gonna go ahead and clean it with the carburetor cleaner. And the needle and seat, the seat's right in here. I'm gonna take a little screwdriver, stick it in there, and just turn it a little bit to break it loose. And I'm gonna shoot some air in here, and it'll shoot it right out then, because if that bowl gasket's brittle, I'm sure the seat's bad too. Yeah, we don't want to take no chances. I like doing it right the first time. So I'm just going to go ahead and boil this stuff out with the ultrasonic boiler, and we're just going to put a brand new kit in this. Okay, just took it out of the ultrasonic cleaner. And we're going to use a rotary carb kit. It's a 22-1226-3. The regular Tecumseh carburetor kits, they're just getting to be so expensive, these rotaries. I like them. They're just as good as the original equipment, I believe. But okay, Just make sure your main jet is all nice and clean. Just cover up one hole. There's two big ones on the sides. Then you'll shoot a nice stream of gas out of that center. And there's like a little hole right here. Make sure that's cleaned out too. Just use like a piece of wire or something to clean that out. That one in the center makes that's all nice and clean. Then we're going to install this seat for the needle. It's smooth on one side and the rigid on the other. The rigid side goes into the carburetor so you can see the smooth side. Just kind of press in there like that. Then I have a 3/16 drill bit right here with a nice smooth end on it. You don't want no spurs or nothing like that on there. But just gently work it in. And just make sure it's pushed in all the way. And just take some air and just gently blow in there and make sure there's no debris in there so the needle seats good. We'll grab our new bowl gasket. Get that put. It's a lot easier to put it on now before you put the needle and bowl and everything on there, then less stuff to work around. Let's put this wire underneath. You don't want it to fall off like what just happened. And go and install our pin. And just make sure that wire is still hooked up. And we're going to put our bowl on. This indentation goes over where your pin is. Grab our new gasket. And let's go ahead and tighten that down. Then our little idler jet or pilot jet, go ahead and put that in there. We made sure that was clean a little bit earlier. Just screw it in until it's nice and tight. And there you go. Now we can reinstall it on the engine now. Okay, before I put the carburetor back on, I'm going to put a little piece of fuel line on there that we cut off. It's a lot easier to put it on the carburetor first. I'm using Oregon 07-016 1/4" by 7/16. That's pretty much the original size of the Tecumsehs. We'll cut like about a 6-inch piece. I'll put it on the carburetor and I'll grab that clamp off the old hard line. Okay, now we can install the governor linkage and the little slot on that plastic little bushing in there. Line it up so it's parallel. Make sure it works. My ends are kind of big, so I like using like a little magnet to get them nuts lined up, especially on this inside one. Get them snugged up. And there we go. Install this vent hose. Make sure everything's working good. Okay, now I'm going to replace the rest of the fuel line. Because when it gets old and hard like that, it's easy to crack and stuff. So I'm going to pull it off the bottom of the tank. Then I'm going to blow out the tank with some air. Make sure there's no dust or debris in there. And see this, see how brittle it is? It's time to replace it. So make sure the pitcock's open on the tank. Take the gas cap off. And we're just gonna blow some air in there. Nothing's coming out, so we know it's clean. And I'm just gonna use the old hose for measurements for the new hose. Put that clamp on for the fuel filter. Make sure it's on there all the way. I'm gonna put the clamp on. Measure that old piece of hose. Take the old clamps off. This one here, the piece broke off that, so I'm just gonna, piece right there. We'll grab a new clamp real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the gas tank first. Make sure it's on there all the way. And there we go. Now we can go and install this cover on the carburetor here. Get these holes lined up. And go ahead and tighten this top one up. This filter don't look too terribly bad, but I'm going to put a new one in there. So now let's check the oil. Always want to check that before we start up. It definitely needs a change oil. That's black. So I'm going to change oil in it real quick and put a new plug in there. And we'll put some gas in there and see if we can't get this started up. Okay, put new oil in there. Put some fresh premium fuel in there. Make sure the on-off switch is on. Have the choke on. Well, I gotta fix this on-off switch. That ain't working. If it don't feel it, it's like it's broken inside. I'm gonna have to order one of them. But anyways, appreciate you watching the video. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Anyways, you have a good afternoon. Bye.